video will go over the experiment procedure titled crystallized vegetation, also known as chemical garden. In this experiment, we will break it into two parts. The first will include building a sodium silicate glass, also known as water glass, and the second, which is the main part of this experiment, will involve growing the chemical garden. Let's move to the first part. So actually for the first part, it's no different from other experiment. The first step is to wear your safety equipment. As you can see, I am wearing a glove, a lab coat, and you should probably prepare cloths for any spill or any contaminated item so that you can wipe it off. Now that we are prepared, let me explain about the chemical we'll be using. This is sodium hydroxide, or commonly known as caustic soda. I have measured it about 2 grams of it. And then the next is we have silica powder or silica gel that's already been crushed. Both this pack combined is about 1.5 grams of it. Then the last thing we need is a hot deionized water measured about 10 millimeter, but could have been needed more for dilution later on if the solution is too murky. The first thing you should do is diluting the NaOH with 10 ml of hot deionized water, and I'll be using this measuring cup which measure 5 ml, so I'll need to pour it 2 times. After which, stir carefully so that NaOH would be diluted with the water. After which, we can add in the silica powder, about 1.5 grams of it. We should add the silica powders little by little so that solution can dissolve completely. After stirring it for a while now, my experiment has encountered a bit of a problem. Because the silica powder used in this experiment comes from a food package which contains silica dioxide, but I misinterpreted it as a pure silica dioxide. After some research, the murkiness of the solution comes from the impurity together with the silica dioxide. To solve it, we need to filter it out until there should not be any precipitates in the solution. This, however, is a blunder on my part, which then I have to do an extra unnecessary step, which I will jump through after the solution has been filtered out. Now, after filtering it out for a couple of times, we should have a clear and viscous liquid of sodium silicate, also known as water glass. Now comes the important part, which is garden silicate seeding. After the solution has been made, you should fill another glass container with the solution. Fill a necessary portion of the glass container with sodium silicate solution. After that, if you think that the solution is a little bit opaque, you should add more deionized water so that the color would become more transparent. Now then, continue to stir the solution of sodium silicate and water until they are completely combined and have no distinct layer that are visible. And always make sure while you're stirring it out, you wear a safety equipment such as a goggles to protect your eyes. Finally, we have arrived at the most important step in this experiment, which is to build the chemical garden or seeding it with the metal salt that we have. In this case, the metal salt we are using, there are two of them. The first one is FeCl3 or iron chloride, which has a yellowish brown color to it. And then the second one is FeSO4 or iron sulfate, which has a bluish green color to it. And we will be using a tool to pick up the metal with. You can use either a pair of tweezers, or you can use a scissor to pick up the metal. And in seeding the solution, there is no rule on which metal salt goes first, but for a much more nicer result, we should attempt that the different color metal does not collide with each other, so that the result would look like a chemical garden. And the first one I will be dropping is FeSO4 or iron sulfate. And then after that I will be dropping the FeCl3.